good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to BBL Central, our last podcast. It could be our last one. We might do an award ceremony yet, but our second last show of the year for the last round of the year. Roscoe, how did we go last week? How are you going?
I don't even know why I committed to come on this podcast this week. This is by far my worst week. I mean, after getting weeks upon weeks of green arrows, I had a shocker this week, Brad. I only got like 620. I dropped like 3,400 spots. I had stuff ups everywhere. I bought Dave Warner in, did nothing. Matt Short bought him in and captained him. After I decided to take my captaincy off Rolly Meredith as well. Probably cost me about, probably cost me a good 100 plus points, maybe more, I think. Would have been a lot more than that. It was just a disaster of a round. It really was. Sean Abbott, 8 points. I blame Dubbo for it. I've been up in Dubbo for work all week. I only just got back at the Savo about lunchtime, and oh man, when I saw how much spots I lost this morning, I just shook my head and I was just going, oh well. There we go. There's my season over. All my head-to-head finals that I was in, lost the whole lot, got smashed in every single one of them.
Mate, I'm pretty much, unfortunately, sort of the same. Not a great week last week at all. I've been flying along, absolutely had a cracker of the season, and then, man, what an absolute disaster it all turned out to be, from Jordan through to just single.
You nearly replaced my ranking from last week. That's about where I was.
It was just an awful diabolical thing. In the end, I ended up vice captaining Chowdhury. It was how bad I got on. Oh shit! That sort of saved the score a little bit. But if you're relying on Chowdhury, then you've got to come off with your team. But then Short went so bad. Actually, Chowdhury did better than Steve Smith. People who had Steve Smith, so I'm not exactly unhappy there. So that went well.
It was a very weird round. I mean, if you VC looped Mitch Owen, who got 200 and something points, you're flying. I think the bloke who got the highest score this week scored like 1,500 points, and he VC looped Mitch Owen's score. And that moved him up a lot to like 100 overall or something like that. So that was pretty good. I mean, we've got our overall leaders too. Don't forget, we've got one. This is last round. The overall winner gets the jersey of their choice for BBL jersey. Got Adam, coach of DJ Bravo Champion, sitting in third overall now. She's tied up there because he can still win it. There's only about 10 points between him and first place. We've got Kando sitting in 25th overall, who had another good round too. Everyone knows Kane from the Supercoach Hub, and then Jack Payton, coach of Mir Dixon Yafanning, in 20. I think he's about similar position. I've got 25th, but I've buggered that up. I think he's about 28th, that one. So she's pretty tight up top. I was having a bit of a look at the Savo, and wow, interesting. Do have a shout out to the Seeded 1 league that's being run by Mr. London, who's sitting in 8th overall for the league ranking. So that's pretty impressive. So good job to them. And good luck to those guys going into the last round.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been fairly tight all year. So I'm just doing one quick little thing there. All right. As I said, congratulations to everybody on your season if you're going really well. I know a lot of the boys in some of the leagues I'm with are still cracking along at a good old pace. A big shout out to all of them. Good work to Kando. Do hop over onto Discord. If you're on Discord, do look up the Supercoach Hub. They put out a great lot of, if you can't, there's content there everywhere to suit all sorts of needs. You've got all different little side pages and things like that. And I do believe there are brothers also over at another one we'll give a shout out to. Glenn Fisher, I do believe the Fishman, he's into about 200s. Good to see. If you don't know Glenn Fisher, he's runs the Supercoach Tragics over there. So NRL Tragics coming up, get into them because they've always got a lot of info there. And Brodie's always lurking around there with some great cash comps, and you can trust them. And that's a big thing in doing cash comps because they always pay out and good stuff. He's got a few of those advertised already. So do pop over there and into the Tragics page. All right.
Also, just quickly, a couple of shout outs, to Ben from Honeyball. Mate, I'll tell you what, I mean, my ranking might suck this year, but I can tell you now he's well worth having that subscription with Honeyball for the BBL. It's well worth the $30. I think it is for the season, Big Whoop. It's pocket change money. And also to the content that the guys have been doing, Timmy Williams and the boys over at the Supercoach Playbook as well. They've been putting some amazing stuff out there as well with the back-to-back champ and the Spy and a couple other guys over there, Tomo Aitken too. I'm just looking forward to having a break after this week and getting ready for our off the bench NRL. Brad, won't be far away.
No, it's not far away. The homework has already begun in earnest. Who knows? I might, after the BBL season I've had, I might just let the computer decide who my round one's going to be and take it from there. Might do the randomised pick, see what shit.
Chuck everyone's name in there and just let them pick the side for you.
Yeah, just let it go. I've never done the randomised pick that's available there in Supercoach, but yeah, I must hit it one day and just see what sort of rubbish it actually tosses up at me. All right, so this week, our first game coming up tonight. Roscoe, you're in Sydney. I'm not. Where I am, if it was going to be played here, there's not a chance in hell the game would be on. But in Sydney, where you are, is there any chance that we could see a game?
Well, it's currently raining at the moment. Not heavy. I've been back in Sydney now for probably about 3 hours. It's been on and off. It's windy as hell here. I can tell you that right now. I don't know if that's going to help. But looking at the radar, the rain seems to be coming in from out in the sea. So with 3 hours to go till this game kicks off, if you have a look at the hour-by-hour forecast, they've got about 90% predicted rain from between about 6 and 8 o'clock, which is obviously not ideal. But they also had that shit forecast when I went to the game last weekend as well and ended up sunny, and they got the whole game in. So I don't know what to expect, but it definitely doesn't look good outside. It's not dark, but it just doesn't look nice, if that makes sense. So I'm not convinced that we're going to get a game in. I don't know if we do get a game in, it's probably going to be reduced overs. So my suggestion is I probably just wouldn't run the risk and just probably get rid of all your Sixers and Thunder out of your team. I mean, I've got Warner there and who I was planning on trading out anyway. Sean Abbott, well, he can go too. That's a lot of cash to, get guys like Steve, not Steve Smith obviously now, but guys like Maxi, Matt Short if you don't have him. As said, every way that we've said this every other round, Brad, when there's single game rounds and there's no doubles, you've got to be targeting those all-rounders. And unfortunately, with Steve Smith potentially not playing tonight and Overton going and Bethel going, there's not really a hell of a lot of options, bro.
Yeah, that's the big news, people. If you didn't catch up with that news, we haven't really crossed it yet, but Bethel has gone and Overton has gone.
And can you believe this? Have you had a look at the most traded in for this round?
Steve Smith.
No. Who do you think's at number 2? Who's number 2 most traded in?
Who?
Bethel.
Oh.
He's not even playing. Who's number 4 most traded in, Brad?
Who's that?
Jamie Overton not playing either.
I did see this morning Steve Smith was sitting in about 5th most traded in. I'm looking at it going, wow, yeah, that's big gonads. They mustn't have to win much there, or maybe they're just going for a bit of glory. But look,
he's actually number 7 now, so he's not as high. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
If you didn't buy Smith earlier in the season, I probably wouldn't be buying him now with this rainy game.
Definitely not.
So certainly, as we had a look at the games, the most relevant game looks like being the Renegades and the Heat. That because if the Heat beat the Renegades, they're signed, sealed, delivered, locked into 4th spot. And if the Heat win there, that really makes the Scorchers game useless, and definitely makes the Stars versus the Hurricanes game useless. God, they could rest all sorts of players there. Who knows?
Yeah.
So Renegades and Heat, definitely a game to target, you reckon?
I think so. It's hard, like you said, Brad, because the last game of the round is Stars and Hobart. Now, if Hobart don't really need, like, if Stars are done, then they're done, and then maybe the Hobart rest some players. I don't know what they're gonna do. They might, but then again, they might want to keep that top spot too. They're going to get a home final either way. But doesn't top spot now get the first round off or something? I can't remember exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Is it something along those lines?
Yeah, it is.
I think. So, actually, Brad, we've actually got this wrong, right? So Stars are on 8 points, okay? And the Heat are on 7 points. Okay? So if the Heat beat the Renegades, Stars can still make it. They need to win. They have to win.
Okay.
Okay, so Stars win, they go to 10 points. Heat win, they go to 9 points, and that's not enough because Thunder's in third on 11 points.
So
even if the Heat win,
Maxi is an option, yeah.
Well, Maxi should be the most traded in this week by a country mile. I mean, I'm having a bit of a look at it now, and he's one of the most traded in this round. But surprisingly, I think he is number 1. I'll just double check that. I'm pretty sure he's sitting at number 1 most traded in.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. So number 1 traded in. Nearly 5,000 people have traded him in this round, and I think at 200k, even though he's not bowling, I still think he's worth the trade.
I've traded him.
So
who's he? Personally, myself, I like a few of those Brisbane players. I like Bartlett, for instance. If you don't have Spencer Johnson, well, I don't know if you can afford him, but God, you should have him. He's a gold mine ever since he stepped foot on the field this year. But you agree with those two that should be targeted for Brisbane?
I think so too. I think so.
Batting looked awful all year, haven't it? It's just
that's been so disappointing. I mean, they were leading the ladder after the first 3 rounds, I'm pretty sure, Brad, and now they're sitting last. The other one that you and I both traded in 2 rounds ago, who's just been very unlucky and had catches dropped off his bowling left, right, and centre's Michael Neser. Like, surely he's got to come good. I mean, at 140k, do you still think he's a viable trade in this week? I mean, batting 7's not great. I think he got a bat, but he only got to face like 2 balls last night.
Viable's not the word for it. He's been unlucky. He basically hasn't had to bat because these blokes have just been coming out and smashing.
Yeah.
And then when he gets to bowl, it either gets dropped or fumbled and goes over the fences. He's been very unlucky. Some of the things that have gone down.
Yeah.
That happens.
The other thing to note too is that Usman and both Marnus aren't playing this game either. So they're both not playing. So they're done. So don't even think about trading those 2 in because they won't be playing. I'm not sure what the go is there. I think whether the squads have to be over by a certain time, but I know that out of everyone else is still playing. So Connolly was in, Smith's in, all the other guys that are going are all in, just not those 2.
Yep. That'd be a Cricket Australia directive of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been a few injuries this year in the BBL. Thoughts go out this week to Billy Stanlake.
He's probably had one of his best seasons too. It's just you hate to see that for any player.
Just so unlucky with the injury, the poor bloke. So our condolences and thoughts go out to Billy. Matt Kuhneman's now going to miss out on going over to Sri Lanka. He gets picked possibly to get a test debut. And look at this, Anyway, that he tried to. Anyone didn't see it last night. He tried to stop a ball. It was almost a catch. It was sort of grabbed it on the half volley, but it was hit back real hard. And he ran straight off the ground, clutching it looked like his thumb was wrapped up in his hand, sort of thing. So I think he's done a pretty serious injury there. Wouldn't mind betting a break.
Yeah.
I've been working all day. I actually haven't caught up on that news, but I did know he'd been left out of the. Well, he's had to forego his spot in the team. We don't know who's going to get picked.
It's a shame. It's a shame too, because I'm pretty sure he's the only. We'll talk about this before we, went live. I'm pretty sure he's the only left-arm off-spin bowler that we have. I cannot think of anybody else that they can bring in to replace him. I'm pretty sure he's the only one.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So I don't know what they're going to do there, because that a leg spinner is not going to be suited over there. So wouldn't make any sense to pick anyone like that. Because you've got Murphy in the squad who can bowl. Yep, you've got Travis Head, you've got Cooper Connolly, Bo Webster's there too. He could bowl spin if he needed to as well. But I don't. I think we may be a spinner short now, so it's going to be interesting to see who they pick to replace him.
Mitch Owen, he can do everything else.
Why not? He's about the only trading that I've got right this season, Brad. I mean, I bought him in the other week at 60K, and he's now one of the most traded in at 160K now.
Yeah, no, he's had a fantastic story. Great.
How good was it that you got to bowl his last two games too? What absolute bonus that was, seeing him bowl.
Mate, it's crazy stuff. All right, so very quickly, we do have a question that's come in from Marty. G'day, Marty. How you going, mate? Thank you very much for tuning in. We actually didn't tell anyone we're coming on, so lucky if we see anyone. But, hey, Marty, thank you. One issue this week is looping. All or most of our loop options are now playing to some level. I'll get to this one because I don't think they are. I got lucky with a cash down Billings to Shaw. I faded keeper, but he did better than my captain, Shaw. Mate, I get you. I hear you. I've had weeks of this.
I hear him too. I paid up to bring in Matt Short this week and captain him for 16 points. And then it ended up bloody Jake Doran ends up playing and outscores him. So and he's supposed to be my nuff loop for the keeper position. So,
Look, this one's going to be crazy. What I'm going to be doing, I have Jamie Overton. Yes, he's worth a fair bit of money. However, if my bench goes okay, I'm going to be reversing the trade on the Jamie Overton bring-in and instead, I will trade out another one of my players that I'm going to. I do have a number of players that I can trade out instead and use Overton as my bench loop. Yeah. People, I mean, if you got Bethel at 60,000 or whatever he was when he really dipped out down in price, unless you really have to sell him, you could just hold him. He only cost you 60,000, so okay, just hold him. There's a bunch of other players out there too that aren't playing. If you got Matt Kuhneman, there's another great example. There's not too many.
I think though, Brad, you probably want someone who's available in both positions, bat and bowl. I'll give you an example like this round that just went right. I had Cooper Connolly as my bench loop for the Scorchers, and I also had Beardman as my bench loop, right? So I had Stoiner sitting up in my batting position, in my bowling position, who obviously didn't play because had a bye. So once he was ruled, once Connolly got his 60-odd score, I then moved Stoinis from bowl up to bat. So then I was able to get Connolly's score. So I think having players like that, if you are looking at something like that, Marty, look at guys like Wildermuth and guys who are dual position that aren't going to be named in the squad, and you can basically double dip.
Wildermuth's been named, mate.
Huh?
He's in the 14.
Is he?
Yeah.
Did the squads just come out, did they?
Well, I thought I saw the Brisbane squad a little bit earlier, and I thought I saw him there lurking about. Maybe not.
No, he's not.
No.
Who we say? Wildermuth? No, he's not there.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, no, good question there. Thanks for that, Marty. Fantastic. All right, captains, vice captains, let's get this bit out of the way. I think it's pretty straightforward what you got to do. You really want your vice captain to come from probably the Heat game versus the Renegades. And then look for your captain out of probably your two standouts, Matty Short or maybe a Perth bowler. Or then Glenn Maxwell in the last game. So you got you got a couple of options of captain, but yeah, I would be leaning towards a vice captain. Personally, Nisa, my vice captain all the way. Or Bartlett's not a bad one if you got him.
I think the problem with that Perth bloody Adelaide game, which is the third game of the round, is that both those sides are pretty much done and dusted now. So in regards to making the finals, I think the only way that they can make it is if the Renegades, I think, is it the Heat lose, the Heat has to lose and the Stars have to lose, and then one of them may get in, but they'd have to come down to net run rate. So they're going to need to know what they're going to need to win by to make it. But I think you need to be targeting the Renegades Heat game and the Stars versus Hobart game. But obviously you'll know by that second game how heavy you want to go on that last game, especially Stars. I mean, if the Stars need to win, I'd be looking to go pretty heavy on them if you can, but it's hard because it's the last game of the round. But yeah, it's a hard one. It's a very tricky last round because we don't know what positions, who's going to finish where yet. I mean, we don't even know first and second yet. All that we know is that the top three is set, but we don't know what order it's going to finish in. That's the thing.
All right, so we're about to wrap it up, I think, Roscoe. That's about it. Keep it nice and short and sharp. I've got to get moving. I've got a date with Destiny tonight. I won't be seeing the game. It's the first one I haven't seen all year.
Hey, don't worry about it. Let's look at, I don't know if it's going to happen anyway, so you should be okay, I think.
You got anything else there, Roscoe, to add to people for their...
No. Just good luck to everyone who's left in their head-to-head finals this week, or the grand finals, I should say, and go the Sixers.
I'm sorry that we couldn't have Timmy on tonight. Big apologies, and a shout-out to Timmy. He's off having a pedicure. Early, I feel sorry for the pedicure of people. Having his pedicure. And many thanks to everybody on the BBL Central page who have so much grief and contact over this year. We will be doing, as I said, we'll be doing a finals award night one, but we'll probably leave that for a week or so. All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Any more, Roscoe?
No, that's it for me.
You know what? You don't want to think about Tim having his pedicure?
Not really. I mean, yeah, no, I'm good.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
If Josiah around, I'm sure he'd have something to say about it, but he's obviously doesn't come and tune in because Tim's not here. So,
Sorry, Josiah. No Tim tonight. But good luck, everybody, with the last round of Supercoach. If you made the finals, good luck. Get into it. And we'll see you back for the awards show coming up in about a week or so's time. See you now.
See ya.